Epic just dropped a massive change to power level in Fortnite Save the World. Previously, power level was almost entirely determined by your survivor squads and how they were set up. This much is unchanged. Your survivor squads are just as important, and they set up the same way as they always did before. And then it was also determined on your account level, which is up here. The more you play, the more you honestly just doing any missions at all pretty much progresses this. That'll level you up bit by bit. And then lastly was research, which is now completely gone. Completely gone. Epic decided it was unnecessary. A lot of people just forgot about it. I never liked it because it was just sort of a time gate. It was sort of a log in every 24 hours, collect these, spend them, and then it takes like a month or two. It's sort of a grind, and Save the World's a pretty slow game. It's very RNG based, how you get the survivors, so it's not that big of a deal, but I can see why they did away with it. Now, the new power level system takes into account your commander level almost exclusively. It doesn't have any research to go off of. Then, of course, your survivors do matter. How you've got your squad set up, ideally maximized would be great. I'll link my video down below if you guys want to learn more about that. I have it all laid out in that video very clearly. Then it takes into account your squad. So this is not like a loadout showcase. I'm not live, by the way, but I'll switch over here. I changed this around. This is not a real loadout, but all of these characters are 144. So my power levels seem to top out around 144. You might be able to get higher than this. I don't know if the specific stats of the hero changes things. If I go to base Kyle, that didn't look like it moved at all. So I think it's just going off the power level. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but you can see if I switch to a more balanced build, this one actually makes sense. But some of my heroes are 130. I've gone down to 143. That is a new way that it calculates. It takes into account your hero loadout. And then lastly, it takes into account your backpack, of all things. Kind of convenient that you can't share weapons between people anymore, but you can have 144 weapons. And I don't know if it takes into account your backpack held weapons or your schematics. These are things that might have been misread by me, but I believe having schematics leveled up should affect your power level, which is just a weird thing to say. Now, with this change, another major change has happened where your stats are no longer shared. You guys remember there used to be a whole bunch of information here where you'd have your fort stats. That would be your fortitude, offense, I don't know what the R was, and then tech. And you guys know what I mean. Comment down below the one I forgot. But you used to be able to have all these plus 700 and whatevers from the max level players, and then your stats would be like 3,200-ish, and then they would be 5,000. It'd be, oh my gosh, so much. You can see Tomatek's little baby account here is not boosted whatsoever. So theoretically, if we went into a Twine game, which is apparently easier now, but I'm getting ahead of myself, he would just be doing as much as level 7 could do, which is kind of nice, in my opinion. Part of the reason you guys saw I stopped running my noob account part of the reason I did that was because anybody who joined my game at all instantly trivialized the lobby. So if you want to play with your friends who are newer to the game, you can join them. You can help out. We did jump into a Stonewood mission, which while I'm talking, I'll explain. Here's a picture Archer showed. It looks different now. There are flowers. There are new trees. They're assets from a different season. If Archer wants to write a comment down below, I'll pin it. He's been nerding out on this, posting on Twitter constantly, sharing in Discord. Stonewood looks different. But if you go into a Stonewood mission, you can still kill stuff very easily as a high level player. You'll be capped out around 31, but your level 7 friend will actually be able to play the game. Whoa! It turns out one-shotting everything is really fun for one game, and then the game, you're not even progressing anymore. What's the point of leveling up your account if when your friends play with you, you just, kill everything right away? So your stats are no longer shared. That is a really big deal. That means in Ventures, theoretically, oh wait, Ventures is supposed to use the old stats, but it doesn't quite do that. Ventures, we're in a tricky spot. So Sage sent me a screenshot. She is level 59 in Ventures. The girl maxed out in a day, just a grinder out here. But with her in the lobby, in a private setting, she was even the host earlier, so in a private, no-fill lobby, 108 is just the furthest you can get in Ventures. We're not 100% sure why. My leading theory, this is really Tomatek's theory, is that Ventures is using the new stat system. I've already directly notified Epic. They are aware. They're on it. But whatever the issue is, you cannot go past 108. What I think is happening, my theory, is that your backpack can't be factored into Ventures because, different inventories. And Ventures historically doesn't even care about your survivors. So even if you have max durability squads, It'll make no difference in ventures whatsoever. And then, I don't know what these stats are, by the way. The percent health bonus, I don't know if that's, like, useful nowadays or not. It's something that I would like to test. I don't know if percent trap damage is, like, viable anymore. It used to not be. That's just besides the point. But it also might take into account your hero loadout, because you could bring that into ventures. So it's ignoring your backpack, ignoring your survivor squads, and ignoring your account level. So ventures is, like, using the new calculation system when it's not supposed to, so you cap out at like 93 or something. I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna have to find out. I moved that onto Epic. They seem surprised, and we'll see what comes of that. As of now, 124 and 140 zones are shut down, so not really sure about that. And then what I mentioned earlier is that Twine Peaks supposedly is just a lot easier. I don't know what that means. I wanted to like hop in game and show you guys some gameplay, but it's way too late for me to be streaming, and I don't really know what to do there. We'll just have to play a session, and I am a real life human with other things to do. I'm so sorry. Sleep is important to me. I gotta get to bed at a good time. But I definitely need to stream this maybe tomorrow and check out what that means. I'll have to record some gameplay video just so we can all experience this together. And you can play the game too, by the way. You can load into Twine and see what we're talking about. It also seems as though they made Twine easier to calibrate for the fact that you're no longer boosting each other. So even though they made Twine easier, now your stats should be like, 3/5 of what they were before. So checks out, in my opinion. Archer was showing us gameplay that was meant to show us how easy Twine was now, but it looked normal to me. But that's really limited in my scope. I just have not had the time to really dig into that. I just wanted to get this video out. And that is, if I'm not mistaken, just about all of the important stuff from this. Instead of showing you guys a sheet of text, I wanted to go through it bit by bit, but we can just go through this point by point. Research is just gone. Your fort stats have now been greatly increased, and I'm sorry, the level ups have been greatly increased. I didn't mention that part, but I can show that here. It looks like the big bump of resources you get every level is dramatically increased. 400 is a ton of reperk. If that's every level, I'm totally down. That sounds fantastic. Stonewood missions are supposedly slightly more challenging. I don't know what that means, but good. I feel like the game should be rewarding, and a harder challenge is sort of part of that. And then Twine missions are less difficult. Not sure what that means. And with the redistribution of stats, teammates leaving, by the way. So the tough thing is you can't, carry your friends anymore, I guess. I prefer that. I like the challenge, but whatever. Then the bad part of that, or I guess the other good part, it depends on your phrasing and how you look at it, but when teammates leave the mission early, because they were never boosting you in the first place, it doesn't change your stats whatsoever. So no longer am I going to be in a Twine mission wishing we had more people to fill up the lobby. I mean, kinda. More people doing things and more people putting traps matters, but people coming and going should not affect the damage of your traps or weapons anymore. So it's always good to have a teammate putting a base down that wasn't doing that before, but you are no longer reliant on their stats, which is a really interesting change. And then aside from your fort stats, power rating has been displayed, factors in what I just told you, the rating of your heroes in your loadout, and the top 3 weapons rated in your backpack. It does specifically say backpack here. I do not think they take into account schematics. It has to be crafted weapons, because it makes sense. You could have all of the best schematics in the world, but if all you're holding is a level 1 gray pistol, it wants to reflect your actual damage, which is true to your character. And that's exactly right here. It means your power rating now reflects your progression and loadout choices, not just raw stats. And then Ventures remains unchanged, supposedly. We already talked about that. No more upgrade points. This sort of got glossed over in my quick explanation, but as you're researching your gadgets, you can see it's actually just its own tab now. They're just gonna be leveled up for you. I hope you can pick which ones you upgrade first. On my noob account, I've been focusing on the ones that I use and ignoring others, so I don't know exactly how that goes. When I play my baby account, I am definitely going to be learning more. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to skip this part, but simple build and edits are here now, and the emote wheel overhaul is a thing. For those of you who have been playing BR, this is in Save the World now. You know what that means. You are welcome to read this. I'll have it linked down below regardless. But yeah, before we move on to the bug fixes, Epic left out something really, really critical. Like, I might have put this in the title, critical. Thank you to Dreadlight, who posted this in the VIP channel Discord. He had a banked expedition from before the update come out with tier 5 materials. That is huge. That is a really, really big deal. Expeditions have been in this weird state for a long time where I recommended running them for the most part because nuts and bolts are always useful. but they never really gave you tier 5 stuff. That supposedly is done. And I didn't mention this earlier, but it sort of goes without saying, I'll say it now anyway, that expeditions now no longer take your research points. They are on their own thing. They'll just go for free, which is honestly totally fine, dude. Why this took any research at all kind of made sense, because it's an expedition. They are researching something, I guess, but I am very interested just from, of course, I can't fast forward 24 hours and have this come around, but I don't plan on running MSK. Then we can get Dragon Scourge. I like Dragon. Oh, it's only one ninja. Sweet. Yeah, so I have all these favorited heroes back when I used to run expeditions every day. The only thing I did them for were survivors, where I was going to be recycling them to get all the training manuals, and then I just got enough training manuals. It's crazy. I literally do not have anything in my collection book that can be upgraded with training manuals anymore. That is not an exaggeration. So I just sort of stopped running expeditions. But in a day's time, stay tuned for the daily videos on the channel. We're going to see if I, too, get tier 5 materials. And that's wonderful. They absolutely should. I'm a max level player, sending out max level heroes. Some of them are supercharged. I should be getting tier 5 mats. It is crazy that this is only just now a thing, but Dreadlight, I didn't ask him if I could use this picture, so he's gonna appreciate the little shout out, but thank you for posting that picture in Discord, because that's a major change to go unmentioned. So yeah, I think that just about covers the update, believe it or not. It is weird because people's power levels are going to be fluctuating a little bit, going up and down depending on what loadout you have. It's a weird incentive now to supercharge your support squads. I don't know if I recommend that. Like, 144 looks like a big deal compared to 143. It's not. It's like 1/3% difference. But I'm not going to incentivize you guys not to supercharge your supports. I'm just saying supercharging your commander is #1 priority. So the way stats are distributed, this was explained back in 2019. They don't say this anymore, but it is still true. 60% of your squad is your commander. Literally, 60% comes from your commander. That's why you supercharge that. And then the bottom 40% are your 4 supports, divvied up into fifths. So each support perk is 8% of your build. Supercharging it is a tiny bump, but it's not nothing, okay? I'm not saying don't supercharge your supports, but absolutely make sure every commander you run is supercharged before you get into the silly stuff. And if you can do it like with Stoneheart Farah and Rabbit Raider, both of these could be a commander depending on what weapon you're using. They're pretty easy to supercharge first, but regardless, I think all the people complaining about hero superchargers all these days are going to start caring about them more, because I know you. You're a gamer. You like number go up. It is the whole thing that makes this shit move. So whether or not you think it matters, I know some of you are going to get hooked on that hero supercharger grind, and I think there are going to be a lot less complaints in my comments, because you're not a real gamer if you're 143. Boo, loser. You're going to want those 144 squads. Yeah. Makes no difference, but I know you're gonna go for it, so I'm just saying it's a funny little change psychologically. And anyway, moving on from that, we do actually have some bug fixes. We noticed this recently where Teddy and Decoy and Shock Tower can now be placed on slopes. Kind of a fun thing. I didn't even know that was a bug, but I like it. Fixed a visual issue where several containers are not disappearing. I'm sorry. Surprise burp has been addressed. Yeah, several containers not disappearing upon opening. Kind of strange how they just stay open, which is kind of fun in my opinion. But fixed a visual issue with ARs and SMGs displaying incorrect bullet trajectory. Added the missing constructor tag to epic rarity lockbot, which is so funny. Sidekicks are now properly pathing around, and then archive jam tracks are no longer included. Okay, and then known issues are just huge. If you guys want to complain about anything in my comments, read all of this first. These are things that Epic is aware of. Sorry, the Advanced GG ad was covering it. But yeah, all of these are known issues that you are welcome to read on your own time, but they're working on it. And so much more. All right, that's the update. I could ramble a bit more, but I think that just about covers it. If I have anything else to add, I do make daily videos, and I'll pin a comment down below if there's something critical, but this is a lot and kind of not that much. Like, it's a lot to take in as new information. I'm not really sure how we're going to do it in the Discord, because we have a 124 channel meant to be like the end game channel where you can do whatever. I might leave that alone as I currently understand the system. It seems like whether you've got, you know, good weapons or good loadouts or your squad's maxed out, whatever you need to hit 124, it counts in my opinion. As long as you can Q 160s fairly and you're going to be an asset on the team, I don't see that it makes a difference. I think MSK, oh, it says 122 required. Oh my goodness, is that new or am I stupid? Have I just never noticed this before? That might be super old. I'm sure. No, I think the requirement's been there forever. But regardless, 122 is still for MSK. So 124 is just like the last level you need to do stuff. And if that's what the game is going to say is required, then we might as well keep it the same. All right. I'm out of here. Subscribe, like the video, code Mista at your checkout if you guys want to support me, or honestly, Archer and Tomatech were big in making this, and Archer has a code. If you want to support him too, I don't blame you. It's been a pretty cool update. So I'm out of here. Go enjoy it. Enjoy your new power level, whether it went up or down. I don't know. It probably didn't go down. We'll see.